Hey guys, this is Alex at Someone in Stars Nursery, and I'm here today with a very impromptu topic that might be a little bit sensitive. So, for the faint of heart, you may not want to be present, but for those that are very strong in spirit and can relate, I suggest that you go ahead and join in so we can go over some things in my own experiences that are probably helping you or that you have probably you can relate to. So today was Sunday and I had gone to church to get some wisdom. And, I'm a person of faith. I'm not perfect. I have a long ways to go. But I've gone through a lot like everybody else has. And these are one of the things I wanted to share. This is a controversial subject, which might be sensitive to a lot of people that are either fixed in their thinking and may disagree. And I'm not looking to have a debate. I am discussing my journey in the doll collecting. So if you didn't already know, I love dolls, and I always have since I was a young kid, but we never had the money to buy them. But that's not the point. I wanted to share the catalyst for the baby dolls that I do collect. And so I will start my story, and everybody has theirs, and everybody's story is different. So the title of this journal is called Healing and Growing Through Loss. I would like to mention to you that it is 2025, and I am aware that the dolls I collect are not real. And I enjoy them anyway. I've collected purses, jewelry, so many things, coins over the years that were fun to collect. But the journey, I believe, really began with this. In 1990, I had a female baby in utero, a pregnancy that I lost through a spontaneous fetal demise. But prior to that, okay, in the early 80s, I was already collecting dolls, in 1985, porcelain dolls. And I love dolls and babies since I can recall. So anyway, in 1978, I gave birth to a healthy child, cesarean section, and he's a grown man now. So I've always loved dolls and babies since I can recall. But in the year 1989, 1990, on January 11th, I wanted to share that I had an experience that was really empowering, spiritual, interesting, divine, whatever you want to call it. I had conceived and pretty close to, after being told I was pregnant at the time, I had what they call oh my goodness, those ultrasounds. Okay, ultrasound. And in an ultrasound, they were able to detect that there was something, a pinpoint growth on this fetus that was growing inside of me that seemed to be, in their eyes, abnormal and needed expert care and advice and more OBGYN development follow-ups. So anyhow, I had written a book that I never published. And this is pages and pages, and I was going to call it 1 in 40,000. And that's because 1 in 40,000 babies that are born with a cancer or a tumor called Saccrocoxygeal Terratoma. I never published this book, and it's remained in my journal because I have journaled for years. So I'm just now sharing this. And this says, dedicated to my beloved but departed daughter, Camille, my then husband at that time, Mickey, and my obstetrician, Dr. Mihalik. And my gosh, she was awesome. So anyhow, I write about the journey to get there and when it was discovered, all my follow-ups, blah, blah, blah. And labor when I was admitted 8:30 a.m. January 11th at the Balboa Labor and Delivery in San Diego. Okay, so upon entering the section of the hospital, I could hear fetal monitors and heartbeats. Okay, prospective mothers enduring labor pains and the contractions were not silent. I was aware that I was an isolated incident that morning. Okay, I'm going to put this down. Then I'm going to share with you, not for the faint of the heart. Please do not remain on the channel if you're very sensitive to certain images that I'm going to share with you. They're not that bad, but everybody's got their boundaries about what they can handle. So in that journey, I do recall, and I have Polaroids from there, 1/11/1990, after getting dressed for labor and delivery, so I was still a youngster back then, okay? And I've already known through the course of time, but I decided that I didn't want an abortion. And that's my personal opinion, and I do not hold anybody to their own opinions, the way they run their lives. It is not in my place to judge anybody. But I wanted a baby girl, and it was a girl. So I already had a name picked out for her and everything, and I had the nursery picked out. Okay, so we're going to put that away. And so I went into labor and delivery. They actually induced it. They put a laminaria in. They put me on monitors. They had me on morphine. All the stuff that goes along with having a spontaneous fetal demise. So the most spiritual thing I can tell you that I had experienced in this was the day before I was admitted. I believe I'd have to recollect through my journal here, a OBGYN appointment, OBGYN, excuse me, and they did not detect a heartbeat, but weren't sure if this tumor that actually grows between, it's a tumor, and if you pretend that this is the buttocks of a baby, in here grows a tumor, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem is not all the babies can stand or live through the surgery to remove this big tumor. The tumor itself grows rapidly at times, and it takes a lot of the, excuse me, blood or nutrients from the rest of the baby. So the baby was never able to handle, I believe, the surgery. Okay, so prior to this day that I was had to go in to be induced for labor, I had prayed. And of course, I've always been a person of faith, never been perfect. And I do not ask people to or try to convert people to religion, but I have my faith, and I'm a Christian. And so I had prayed. I had prayed that God would let me say goodbye to her, or she would say goodbye to me, and let me have that closure. The day before delivery, on January 11th of 1990, I dreamed from the moment that I slept to the moment I awoke that I was in the clouds and I was floating backwards. And this dream remained from the moment that I slept and had this dream until I awoke. When I had awoke, I told then the father of my child that I was sure that she was no longer with me. So really, in my recollection, the doctor was preparing me to lose her. And the doctor had prepared me to be strong enough, but they didn't tell me she was dead. They just couldn't fine heartbeat. I guess that tells you a lot. But they couldn't say when she was going to so-called die is the word, or be taken away. And so this mass, it can be as, oh God, they could be probably a pound, a couple of pounds, and babies are born between 6 and 10 pounds. So that's a pretty big mass. And what happens is the cells, when they develop on a baby, do what they want. They create eyes, they create legs, feet, hands, they create the brain. But this cell created a cancer. And unfortunately, cancer runs in my family, which is another subject from this. But it doesn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me then, and it still doesn't surprise me now. So anyway, so I had journaled the experience and was going to publish this book. And I'd gone in to be induced. What else? But I just wanted to remind you guys that I have had a healthy male child in 1978. Okay, and I even had a male full-term baby, VBAC, vaginal birth after cesarean, in 1991. But in that time, of course, I wanted a baby girl. So after my son was born, I continued to collect dolls. And there was Shirley Temple. 1985, I actually had porcelain dolls already. Okay. But let me see what else. Life transition and life changed. And I moved away, and there was a divorce. But put all the dolls away. But I never put the cremains away. And so I just want to let you know that babies in utero or out of utero can be cremated. So this is my daughter's cremains, and it reminds me of my cabinet. I have my mother's over there. And her name was Camille. So her due date was actually June 11th of 1991, which she didn't make it that far. And that Christmas, I believe, in 1990, I had gotten this porcelain keepsake, which I hang on my tree, and I actually keep it in my hutch. And she's just so precious. I just loved it then, and I love it now. I had also these little baby shoes that of course, I kept. So that's where some of the things that I had kept, you know. And I was just really tickled pink when Carol from Carol's Touch Art Dolls sent me this. I discovered as a soap. I'm going to keep it, and it's going to go in my hutch. Okay, so not trying to bore you here, but trying to educate you. Life is precious. Life is precious when it's conceived. Life is precious as you live it. And life is precious as you're fighting to survive. And I just want to encourage everybody to really live life with intent and with goodness in our heart. Okay, so moving on along. I had, in 2004, had a transition, and I put all my dolls away because people that were in my life weren't comfortable around the dolls. In this course of time, in the probably 2011, 2012, I was able to help another mother go through her grieving process, and she gave birth to a full-term baby, which she had lost. And later on, though, she did give birth to a healthy full-term child. So that's a blessing. But in your loss, you can grow. And in our loss, we can help others. So don't give up. Okay, so then came 2020, around that time. I gave away my Cabbage Patches. I gave away my collectibles. I had tons and tons of dolls that were Japanese type of dolls. I can't even explain them. I forgot what they were called. But they had probably, what do you call that? Armatures in our hands, and they were cloth. and they had big cartoon eyes. If I ever find a picture, I'll share it. So I kept some as long as I could keep them. And then I decided to give some more away. I had porcelains that were probably 36 inches tall that looked like full size, like ballerinas, full size AA or African American with beautiful braided hair, sculpted porcelains. And they went to people that appreciated them, I am sure. 2022 came along and I was missing it. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and get a doll hutch. I put out my Shirley Temple. I purchased a Mother Teresa, the Jackie Onassis, my Princess Di, from some of those places that, my goodness, I can't even remember their names. But you know, the places that sell art. And you can get them used, but usually you can get them through a subscription. Okay, so then I displayed them, and then, of course, I've had a grandson, so that was a blessing. I've never had any baby girl, so I've always wanted that, you know what I'm saying? But my kids weren't going to have baby girls for me to be a grandma to enjoy, and that's their life. And so I was like, oh my gosh, these dolls are so cute. And I was looking at YouTube. I couldn't believe the the ultra realism to these sculpts. And I said, wow, you know, I couldn't believe how much they ran in price. So I was like, they're pretty pricey. But at that dead time, you know, I was collecting the name brand luxe goods, you know, your Gucci's, your Louis Vuittons, your whatever, you know, and I was really into jewelry. And then I lost interest in those things because I wasn't wearing them to go anywhere. It wasn't really a hobby I could enjoy or share with anybody. And it was just bougie, and it wasn't the bougie that I needed, you know? It wasn't fun. It wasn't a hands-on anymore. So then in 2022, I joined a doll group, several of them, until I found one that was an authentic. Actually, I found a couple. And I'm actively a member of, and I appreciate being a member of this group because I have learned a lot, and it kind of paved the way to learning more about art dolls, their value, the credibility of the sculptors and the artists, and the resale value, the collectible value. I just have a high regard for things that were created and from real legitimate sources, okay? And I respect authenticity. Anyhow, whether it's a thing or it's a person, I respect authenticity. Now, what you do is up to you because you do you and I do me. But I have to go on with this journal of why and the catalysts of the reborn community. So I joined an all authentic group, a couple of them, and I was pleased to learn about the principle of these works of art that I have in vinyls and in silicones. So anyway, after then, I shortly created my channel. I'm 25, here I am, full nursery with a little bit more knowledge, but still learning, okay? Always respected the therapeutic value of dolls. I don't care if it's a teddy bear. I don't care if it's a vinyl. If it's not hurting anybody else, their intellectual property, I really appreciate it. And anyway, I wish you knew me a little bit better as a person, but you get to know me a little bit through the channel. And you'll know that authenticity means a lot to me, but when it comes to purchasing inanimate things, sometimes you do what you can do with what you have. And that I respect too. So I'm not going to be slinging dirt. This journey is about how I got into the reborn community or the reborn world, and learned what I needed to learn to be who the collector I am, which is really still a guppy in this ocean of very honed, seasoned collectors. Okay, so then back to, okay, everybody has the personal reasons to why they collect their dolls. You want to, it's because of dementia, it's because you lost a baby, it's because you love dolls, it's because you want to create dolls, you want to make money, you want to make somebody happy, you, whatever your reason is, it's for not everybody to judge to why you collect the dolls. For all of us, there is a therapeutic remedy or a void that it fills in our lives, whether we wanted to collect a doll or collect luxe goods or put money in the bank. But as long as you're not hurting anybody, and it's helping you grow as a person through your, it's your healing through your loss. I kudos you for it. So everybody has their personal reasons, and I don't believe it is in my position to question their journey. So we all know our own, okay? So what else did I want to talk about? I had my list to help me through this, you know? And having said all this, I went to church today, okay? And as I do, as much as I can, and to get wisdom, to get clarity, to get healing, to get understanding, to put me on the right track, I go because I do me, and that's what works for me. But anyhow, I received a gift today, and I'm sharing one of those gifts online. I may not be able to mail it until February, and that's because I'm going through some things with trying to help my father in his healing and serve my purpose and my calling as his daughter to get his situation stable where he is at in Texas, which is very far from me. I'm in California. Excuse me. So I have a list of things to do and a process to go through. And of course, I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of praying, a lot of reading some of the scriptures, you know, meditating. But today I went to church and I was really touched. And I've always gone by this booth. And today I decided to stop and actually have a conversation with this particular booth, who's in outside of the chapel that I go to. They just always have the neatest little display, and they're into assisting people that want to find ways to either having troubles with their unplanned pregnancies, to for adoption, for support, for wisdom, you know, instead of having to terminate a life. And I am not here to discuss the pros and cons, because that is not my conscience, that is not my choosing, that is not my place. But I had to stop because it caught my eye that I was able to get something, and I am going to, in February, mail the same thing, the same exact thing, to somebody on my channel. If you stayed on this channel long enough to get to know me, or this caught your eye, and maybe there was something from it for you to learn, for yourself, for a friend, or for somebody in your family, you know, that's great. And please keep on watching. So today I was able to get these precious feet. And this says this is exactly the size of a 10-week unborn baby's feet. Look how tiny that is. Isn't that cute? I just love babies. I love babies, okay? I love dolls. I love babies. And I'm really good with kids. I love kids too. And so anyhow, that is part of the reason why I collect dolls. Now you know, okay? Now, today, I also have this little silicone that they had on a table, and it says precious one. So this is, talks about the preborn baby, the unborn. And some of you may have reasons to why, aside from loving dolls, because you can afford it and you can do it and it's up to you, whatever your reason is, and if it touches your heart and your soul and it hits home, you let me know. I don't have a lot of them. I got one for me, which reminded me of my baby Camille, but she was a lot older than that, okay? But she was still in utero. And so I'm keeping one for myself. They're non-gendered. It's just a sculpt of a 10-week-old embryo or fetus. So at this point in time, these, pretty much is how they look like. And some people have had to say goodbye or made life choices that were difficult. And I said, like I say, I am not here to judge you. I'm just here to share a story and to gift something to somebody where this will make a difference at. But it won't be until February. And if I could do it before, I will. So I have my own and I'm keeping it. Then I'm going to give you one of my viewers, one that I got today. So I have a second one. Mine's to the left. The one I'm giving away right now is to the right. Right? It's a cute little silicone. Okay? So I'm going to give you a little pin with that. This little 10-week-old memorial. And then I give you a little lovey. It's so cute. I had these made a long time ago. And it's actually a finger puppet with a baby towel. What is this guy, a giraffe or something? Anywho, I'm going to give you one of these. So I'm going to wrap this little baby to mail out to my U.S. subscriber because it's so hard to mail out to outside of the U.S. And I wish I had more of these and could send you all the information about the organization that put these out. And my email is agjbiz@aol.com. I'm going to put this little baby that I'm going to go send to the person with her story. You can put a short response on the comments below, or you could send me an email to extend your response. But I'm not always on my email. The thing is, I have to be on my laptop. I don't have a lot of room in my, what do you call this? In my phone. Because I keep a specific email for contacts for my viewers, my subscribers, for their items. If I mail this, or when I mail it, which I'm going to mail it to whoever gives me a story that I believe can use the healing or it can help them. So I'm going to put my baby in this little bunny, in this little blanket. I will need your email address, your mailing address, your full name and phone number. You have to be over 18, not be in a sanctioned country because it's just ridiculous to say to send somewhere where you're never going to get it. And it won't be sent. And depending on where you're at, if it's really far away, I may not be able to send it to you because of the price of the postage. As much as I want to send to everybody that responds to this very sensitive topic, I cannot, I want to, but I cannot. So I have to pick a person to receive that baby. So mine is in here. She's already lost and wrapped up in this little bunny. And the other one is lost and wrapped up in his little organza bag. And hopefully you follow directions. Hopefully you've learned, whether you are a reborn mom, a doll collector, don't have one, maybe you need reassurance that it's okay to collect a doll if the catalyst is losing a child or not. Let me know, because my place is not to judge you. My place is for you to be able to understand I can relate to you, okay? And yes, I collect silicones and vinyls and Blythes and OB11s or whatever. But you don't have to be that. You could even be a mom that just happened to scroll through the channel and found me. And all I could tell you is I thank you for your time. I thank you for listening. And I know this video is almost a documentary. I wasn't trying to make it that. But know that I understand. Know that I do not judge. And nobody has, unless they have walked in your shoes, nobody can understand. And we still walk in different shoes. Little angel wings are so cute. And I'm going to do a shout out to Carol at Carol's Touch Art Dolls Nursery. I just love these winning hearts. And last but not the least, I saved a lot from when I was in the hospital. And here's my armband when I was there. And so every January 11th, I'm not depressed anymore, or anything like that. But I always remember when I lost or delivered and gave a child back to heaven. And the last picture I'm going to show you is going to be very sensitive. So skip it if you can't handle it. This is a picture of my baby. When you ready? Okay. Sign off if you can't handle it. When I delivered her from in utero, she didn't have her integumentary system like the way we would have it. It was very pink. And maybe someday I'll still be able to print this book. And maybe they'll remember me by this. But I'm going to let you know. Here we go. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the baby. And that was still cremated. And she is in this box because she is my angel. And heaven let me keep her for a little while and allowed me to be able to serve my calling, help mothers that are at loss, at grief, and enjoy the dolls. But I know my dolls aren't real. I have children, and that wouldn't matter if I didn't have children. Enjoy life and live it with intent and purpose. But do it with a good heart and a good conscience. And now, I guess I need to sign off and let you know that I wish you nothing but the best in your everyday, whether it's an everyday or holiday. I shouldn't even be wearing this shirt, but this was impromptu. I decided today was the day to do it. You have yourself a good evening, and this is Alex from Sun, Moon, and Stars Nursery. Please subscribe. Leave a very empowering comment. Other viewers are going to read it and share it if you wish to. Not everybody can understand it. And a lot of people are critics. But It is our shoes and we have to walk in it. It is our loss and we have to endure it. It is our lesson and we have to live it. It is our conscience and it's something that we feel is right. Have yourself a very good, peaceful winter, and may the new year bring you nothing but goodness. God bless everybody.